Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a portfolio review for Maxime Kubik, who goes by the name of Kubdev on Twitter and on Discord. And let's get straight into it, shall we? I've opened up their page and I'll pop the link in the description below, so if you want to go and check it out yourself you can do. Already from just looking at it I can already see a couple of things. I wonder if you can guess what they are. The things that immediately catch my eye are just this moving character at the top. I'm thinking, is there a prefers reduced motion media query to stop that from moving if I wanted to? And also looking at the title here, this text is very, very pale. So I'm wondering immediately if there are some color contrast issues on this site. So let's have a look at those to start with. So I'm going to go into the dev tools and let's have a look at this animation first. If we pull up this little bit at the bottom under the rendering tab, we go down to emulate CSS media feature prefers reduced motion and we put reduce. Now reduce doesn't mean that you have to turn it off completely, but obviously that would be the most ideal situation for people that do find movement and motion very, very difficult to deal with. So the more that you can reduce it, especially if it's not like necessary. Here it's just like a fun little animation and it's definitely nice to have, but it's not something that is important to the meaning of the page, and therefore it could just be like still. But you can see it hasn't stopped moving when I have clicked in this little thing, so that is something to consider adding into this site so that that can be turned off if someone wishes. Okay, so let's move that back down. Let's fire up the Axe Dev Tools straight away and see what comes up. Okay, 29 issues, and every single one of them is that elements must have sufficient color contrast. This is what I was mentioning. It's not just this header text here. If we highlight all of these purple texts, the purple is not has not got a strong enough contrast on the background. It's not too far off. Here it's saying it's 4.23 to 1, and the minimum ratio is 4.5 to 1. So they've only got to be made, these purple ones need to be a little bit darker, that's all. And here, that's not giving us a... Okay, that one is actually 4.75 to 1. It might be picking it up because it can't quite tell on this background gradient which one it should test. You should always test on the area which has the least color contrast. So if I just switch that off again, so maybe like test this grey here with this purple here to see if the color contrast just here reaches up to 4.5 to 1. So that is something to consider. Where are we now? It's not showing me. Where is the highlight? Okay, let's start again from the beginning. Start at 1, highlight. I don't know why it's saying that that's number 1, but there you go. All of the purple texts, even the buttons at the top, it's not sure. These to me do look like they have sufficient color contrast, to be honest, but I imagine it just can't quite tell based on the gradient background. So it's just worth checking. Here, this definitely needs checking and changing. So anyway, yeah, I would suggest go through and just check all of your, definitely the greys and the purples, that they have a sufficient color contrast, at least 4.5 to 1. Your headings are fine, they've got 19.37, so that's no problem at all. It's just that Axe Dev Tools does seem to be picking up a few, definitely with color contrast, it keeps picking up problems that aren't actually there. I think it can't always tell like what the background is. But other than that, that's looking great. So let's have a see. Also, one thing that's really good is that these, apart from that they're moving, these are actually left aligned. All the text is left aligned, which is really, really good. That helps people to read and track your text really easily. Okay, let's do a tab test and see if we can tab through everything. Okay, brilliant. Got a really nice clear focus indicator here. Our toggle button, we'll check that in a minute to see how that reacts with the screen reader. Okay, then I jump down to the blog and the About Me section. Okay, we're down here. Okay, what happens if we click on these? Okay, brilliant. Yeah, they do actually lead to a search section based on the tags, so that's fine. They're that's not a problem that they are links. Show more, that appears several times on the page. That is something to consider with a screen reader, is they will only hear, especially if they're tabbing through links, they will only hear show more, and so they might not know what it relates to. So consider adding some extra information in here about what you're going to find when you click on show more. But otherwise, looking really good. We tab through everything, and then that's a link back to the homepage where we are, and a link to GitHub. So that's looking really good. Not a problem at all. And if we just check some of the other pages as well, we've got everything there seems to be looking fine. I'd say here it's just the color contrast as well. Projects, yep, and they all nicely show just one at once, and the entire card is linked. Okay, not a problem. And the About page. Okay, these are all links. These are something we can check how they are announced by the screen reader in a minute. And that's great, looking really good there. Okay, let's then see how this page performs when it is zoomed in. And although the requirements are up to 200%, I do like to always push it right up to maybe not 500, 400 if we can. And you can see we end up on the mobile view, which is great. Let's just check that. Okay, the button works still. We'll leave it in dark mode for now. Let's have a look at if this works. Okay, great, that opens up. And then, okay, where did my tab go? There. Okay, but if I tab again, it ends up on home and blog projects. So my tab just disappeared somewhere. I wonder if it tabs back onto like the hamburger icon, which is now hidden. I can't be sure. That's something to have a look at anyway. There's some sort of funny thing going on with your tabbing here. It just disappears somewhere off the page. We might be able to listen to that on the screen reader actually and see where it tells us it's disappeared to. And then we get to like home. Okay. Other than that, that's fine. Okay, we've got a sticky nav bar. I would suggest on mobile adding a media query to unstick this, because it will take up quite a lot of the screen estate when it's in the landscape mode. But everything is still readable here. Everything reflows nicely. That's still readable. Yep, looking good. There's nothing that's being cut off. No text that disappears. So that's looking really, really, really nice. Brilliant. So yeah, just consider making the header unsticky on a mobile view so that that doesn't cause a problem. Okay, let's zoom out again. Back to 100%. And let's fire up our screen reader Susan and see what she has to say about this site. So Susan is now ready. Let's see what she has to say if I start tabbing through the site. I'm mostly interested in the light dark mode toggle, and we'll see what that says.
Max, I'm Cubic software engineer. Leave on document. Clickable banner, landmark, navigation, landmark, visited link, home, visited link, blog, visited link, projects, visited link, about. Blog, visited link.
Okay, she didn't tell me that this was a list with 4 items, so that is something we can have a quick
Projects, visited link.
look at.
About, visited link. Toggle dark mode button.
Yeah, and here, when I press the button, I don't get any feedback that I have pressed it or in which state it is. So using a button is fine, that's no problem at all. But consider adding an area pressed true to the dark mode version and an area pressed false to the light mode version, just so that the user gets a little bit of feedback when they press it as to which state the page is in at the moment.
Main landmark, link to blog, visited link. Link to about me, visited link. List with 3 items. I'm starting to learn Unity 3D link, heading level 2.
Okay, that was great. That told me there was a list with 3 items. So these 3 articles are in their own list.
Unity visited link. Kubdev visited link. Today I learned link.
Although I can tell the purpose of these when I look at this site, it's not clear to me actually that if I couldn't see this site, it wouldn't be clear to me that when I hear those read out by the screen reader that it's referring to keywords. So that's something to consider. I'm not entirely sure how you would implement that so that the screen reader user got the information that they were keywords, but I'm just like thinking off the top of my head that actually if I was only listening to this and couldn't see it, I'd be like, okay, why are those random words being read out as links? But there you go.
Read, I'm starting to learn Unity 3D link.
Brilliant. It didn't say show more like I was expecting it to. Fantastic. Well done. Great work there.
What's the best way to learn software development? Today I learned link. Shout outs link. Read, what's the best way to learn software development?
Yeah, brilliant.
Open source, learning, and motivation link, heading level 2. Writings link. Open SAP, today up, read open source, learning, and motivation link. Content info, landmark, Maxime Cubic software engineer, Leon visited link.
I might add there that would, that's a link to the homepage, but that's just a little thing that doesn't make too much difference really.
Join WebXDAO on GitHub link.
Brilliant. No, I'm actually really impressed that your show more links don't just read out show more. So well done. Let's just check one more page and see how she handles it.
Banner, landmark, navigation, landmark, projects, visited link. About, visited link. Toggle dark, main landmark, link to dev NFT link.
Okay, so these projects aren't inside a list, but that doesn't really matter. It just doesn't give me any information about how many projects I'm expecting to see on the page.
Link to PomPom link. Link to the algorithm / Solidity link. Link to WebXDAO DAC visited link. Link to material scope JetBrains link.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, if we go back to the home page.
Banner, landmark, navigation, landmark, home, visited link. Maxime Cubic software engineer, Leon.
And I'm actually going to turn off Susan. I've turned off Susan and I remembered that I just wanted to have a look at this navigation and see how it's built. And so let's inspect that and have a look. If we just try and grab it with there, that will be fine. Okay, so we've got the navigation. It's inside a div, which is also inside a div. And there we've literally just got the links themselves. I would just suggest wrapping this in an unordered list and then making these into list items. Just for that little extra bit of feedback with navigation list with 4 items. It just helps screen reader users know, is this a navigation that I actually want to tab through, or shall I just hop straight to the main content? Like if there's 10 or 11 links, I might not want to sit there tabbing through each one individually. I might want to just hop over them and go to the main content. So that's just something to consider. It's not a failure in any way for accessibility purposes, but just gives that little bit of extra information which can be really useful. So there we go. overall, a really nice site with some great features, and Maxime has already started thinking about some of them with the show more links and like left aligned text. So there's some really good stuff here. The major problem is just the color contrast in certain areas, which is probably the main thing I'd look at. And then you can also consider the prefers reduced motion, media query, and having a look at your dark and light mode toggle button, and just so that it gives some feedback to the user. But overall, a really nice site. Thank you, Maxime, for letting me check it. It's been really great fun, and I hope everybody has really enjoyed watching this video. Please let me know if you have any comments in the section down below. If you want me to check your site, then I'll pop that link in the description so that you can send me the link to your blog site or your website or your portfolio, whatever. As long as it's not like a work website that a company has paid for, I'm more than happy to help you out with doing an accessibility review. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!